All right, so I'm going to show you a prompt for building the perfect prompt that I've been using in my agency for personal projects. And it's one of many that I've used. And I've started improving this process to generate new types of prompts for different scenarios, but it's saving me a ton of time. And if you're struggling with creating prompts or rewriting them every time, there's no point in doing that, and there's no need to do that. You can just have the prompts created for you, and then you can save them in different project files. And every time you build a prompt, it'll spit back this exact model. You can just tell it to remember it. So what I've done is I have this prompt here, which I'll share in the comments, and I'll share below. And it's pretty simple. It's just kind of goes through structure that we want, incorporating domain-specific terminology, the output, and then gives specific directions of kind of and guide rails as well, which really helps. And I have every time, you'll see this, but every time that I put the prompt out or I run it, I say repeat back what the prompt is before you build my prompt. So for example, I can give a prompt here like, hey, I want to design a prompt for book summaries for this website that I made, right? With some specific directions, really general. And this is a task that I need a prompt for that I'm doing over and over again. And so I do that, and it says excellent, yada, yada, the objective, domain context, etc. And then it produces the prompt like this. And what's cool about this is, it uses Markdown. So it's dictating like, what do we want headlined? What do we want bold? And then it gives me always, the certain inputs that I need to put in there, right? And so it helps you outline the inputs to get a good prompt. And then it has, here you can see what the output format is for the prompt, introduction, key ideas. And so it's formulated this prompt for me, right? And then we can do a test run, and I go, let's test it. And so it goes, okay, in this case, it's making like book summaries, right? So now here's my input details. It'd be the obstacle is the way, Ryan Holiday, Stoic philosophy, medium, length, intended audience, anyone facing challenges or looking to build grit, perspective, entrepreneurs, students, athletes, creatives, leaders. So this is the part that I would fill out, right? And then it goes down, obstacle is the way, Ryan Holiday, introduction, key ideas, and then it spits out a good summary, right? So, and then you can revise the prompt template as well, however you want. And then once I get the prompt template that I like, and it gets it, see, it's going to make edits to the actual prompt. And so you can work on the prompt first, right? Revise the prompt first, get a really good prompt, then save it in a project file, say, hey, remember this, read it back to me before every time you make a new prompt or give me an output. And then from there, you're going to get a much more consistent result, right? And so this is how you can really use LLMs into workflows. So let's find another example of how I've used it recently. Okay, so another cool use case, I have a couple I'm going to share here. One is for what I call like a find the wins reporting style for Google Ads. So basically I'm saying create a prompt that goes and is going to read my Google Ads account, and it's going to find the wins, right? It's going to say like, hey, what are the top call outs? And then what are some trends? What are some highlights? Things that are going to impress clients and their bosses, right? And then which are relevant to overall Google Ad strategy, and while make sure that they're accurate and contextual. So this is part of an internal tool that we built that plugs into Google Meta API. And it reads all the data and analyzes it, and so we need really, really structured prompts. So this is part of the testing that I was doing as part of that. And so I say, okay, here's what I want to do, and then it restates the prompt architect framework. So this is what I want it to do. I asked it to do this, is that every time repeat what you're going to be using to build this prompt, right? So it's going to use this prompt architect framework, and then it's going to go boom, here's the prompt. And you can see it's saying you are a senior level Google Ads strategist and analyst. Your task is to review Google Ads performance data and extract the most valuable stats. It looks like it's the most valuable strategic wins, highlights, and emerging trends in a way that would impress client, stakeholder, yada yada. So you can see it goes inputs required. So I put in the date range, right? And this is automatically pulled from our system when we hooked up. So it's going to pull date ranges, the key metrics that I tell it to pull, campaign names, ad groups, asset types, notes on recent changes, budget shifts, etc. And then the output format I want is starting with an executive overview, a 2 to 3 sentence narrative summary, the major wins, and then each win should be like a summary, context, and insight, the strategic relevance for it, and then next steps. What do we do next with this data, right? If you run marketing or you run an agency or freelancer, it's always what's next, right? What do I do with this info? And then emerging trends, caveats, and considerations. And then it has notes on style, like how do we want to sound, right? And so it made that. And then it gave a simulated example. So like lead volume up 41%, summary, context, which was like, okay. And then yeah, I actually refined this one. Can I not click into this? Anyway, I actually refined this one in another. I took this into another thread where we're just doing the reporting. And so then I started to work on it a little bit more. But you can see it gives like, here's the summary, context and insights, strategic relevance. This is all like made up stuff. It was just as a sample. But that's a way to now get consistency. Now I bring that in its own thread, and now every time that I ask it to give me data, I'm using that same prompt, and I'm getting really, really consistent output, which is great. Because for reporting, when we're doing narrative reports, like like weekly reports, usually like right into Slack, we want it all narrative style. And so we want to be able to pull that. And then it's good for ourselves too. So if you're one of our media buyers, or if it's myself, I want to be able to see like a quick high level overview, right? And then you can custom tailor these prompts. A cool thing is they custom tailor them by stakeholder, right? So like, am I talking to the CMO? Am I talking to the CEO? It's all going to be different because there's different levels of knowledge. And so you can build that right into the prompt. Super helpful. So another one that I did here is we were making some ads for ad scripts, and we were making like 60-second spots using like AI fusion ads. So more for CTV YouTube style, right? And the prompt for this is, I just said, I want to incorporate things like target audience, tone, messaging, angle, placement, anything you find relevant for the ad script. Super simple, right? I was like very lazy with this. You can actually do a lot better in the description. You'll get a lot better output of a prompt. But this was pretty lazy. It restated the prompt, and then it restated the objective, design a reusable modular prompt to help generate high impact strategic and creative screenplays. So here's the prompt that it generated. You're a senior ad creative and script writer making a 60-second spot. Your task is to brainstorm 3 compelling screenplay style ads and concepts. And then so my inputs, it outlines. So I put in the product service, I put in the target audience, the primary message, all of this stuff, right? Key objections, all this relevant info, and then it gives me concepts spat out. So once I had that, and I got good outputs from that, and I'll show you some results I did it for a client in a sec. So once we did that, then I moved in. Actually, let's go check that out right now. Let's go see. So let me find it. Okay, so you can see in this chat, this is where I started to use that prompt. And actually what I had done is the first prompt I used was just this. I said, hey, come up with, comedic as well as heartfelt 60-second ad spots, and just give me concepts. And so it went through and it created 10, high impact sketches for Camuso Design, a brand of mine, a client brand. So it went through and they had the hook, the story, the tag, and it's like, it's okay, right? This is how most people are using ChatGPT right now and LLMs. Usually it's like very basic. They'll get outputs like this. But then I went and I plugged in the prompt that you just saw that I created for brainstorming concepts. Boom, 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 output format. So I copied and pasted and I put my inputs in. So this is the part where I did work, right? I inputted all this myself. Now, again, you can get ChatGPT. You could take this stuff and say, hey, here's our client questionnaire. Here's the website. Here's all these other assets, and then get me all this data, right? Give me the target audience, all this stuff. So you can also use LLMs to do that. In this case, I think I just wrote it out manually because I just know it. Output format, and then I got this. So this is much better, right? So just by using that prompt, now I get a concept summary, I get tone in there, I get like the opening hook, I got brand integration, emotional payoff, closing CTA, much more rich, right? Much richer than just this, right? Basic prompt. And now I have this and I can just use this over and over for concept generation. So it gave me better overall concepts, which I actually ended up using 2 of them. And then I just start talking to it. Now I'm like, okay, which one's better? Like, which one is better payoff? Yada, yada, yada. And so I went through and I wrote a pretty good script. And eventually I'll show you the final output of that video. It's in progress. We have the V1 just got done. And then you can go and you rewrite the rewrite the concept. And so let me see here. So this is where I actually do this script. So this is the actual script. So watch, I'll go back to, let's see where I did the prompt engineering process. So you see the direction here is I go, here's my prompt for building prompts. Then maybe I'm refining that prompt a little bit. Then I take that prompt, build a channel, say, remember this prompt for screenwriting. Remember this prompt for reporting. Remember this prompt for transcribing videos, right? Remember this prompt for whatever. And then when you go to your different chats, your different folders, now you have prompts built in. So for some of you that are more advanced and have been doing a lot of advanced stuff, this is going to seem pretty simple. But for the vast majority of people, they're not using ChatGPT and LLMs like this. So it's a huge, huge unlock. And let's go back to the prompt engineering process. Let me try to finally, in the last bit, I'll show a version of the actual script that I had up here somewhere. Let's see. Okay, so here is the final prompt template. So now that I had the concept generator and I got the concepts that I liked, now I want to write the detailed script. All right. So great. Let's apply the prompt architect framework and build a reusable prompt. Boom, it restates the framework once again. Objective, and then here's the final prompt. So you're an actual ad copywriter, commercial screenwriter. Scene headings, video length, platform tone, all this stuff again. And then I used that. And then we go back over to now I have a separate thread that's just for screenwriting, for script writing. And I'm saying, remember this video script, just like I said, for future use, and use it for this thread whenever I ask you to write a new script. And so it starts here. You're a professional copywriter, commercial screenwriter. So that same prompt, boom, boom, boom. Da, 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 da. So I say, okay, so yeah, this is the prompt. I say, remember this prompt. Boom, I've locked in production ready script. And now I go, okay, let's use it for now the specific concept that I had it generate before. So here it is right here. Your task is to write a detailed production ready script, dialogue, da, da, da. So then this is where I insert the ad concept, right? So this is the concept. I just basically copy paste that. It has the key message, primary CTA, all the stuff that I got from the previous prompt output. And then boom, it gives me, yeah, Urban Zen, yeah. So then here we go. So then it gives me, what is this? Oh yeah, so there's output format is what that was. So it says here's exactly how to do output format. It goes really deep. And then boom, so I get my title, Urban Zen, 60 seconds, platform, YouTube, skippable pre-roll, CTV. And then I get a whole, this is, I was a screenwriter, wannabe screenwriter, and a film major in college and wrote some stuff. And so, it used to take a long time to just like format things correctly and you wouldn't really know how. But now you can format it directly and boom, now I have my script. Here's the VO, here's the sound effects, voiceover, fade in, fade out. Now, there is also initial output. Let me see if I can give you a sneak peek. Okay, so quick sneak peek. It's like Super V1. It's not exactly up to par here, but you can see how now that's going to translate directly into...
In a world that never stops.
Add like this in VO3.
Your breath is your most powerful tool. Meet the Shift Necklace, a beautiful piece of jewelry designed to guide your exhale, slow your breath.
Start using the tool.
You're
meditating.
Which science
using the Camuso necklace gets into the science.
Naturally reduces anxiety. Inspired by 17th century Camuso monks of Japan, the shift marries ancient ritual with modern life, reminding you to
shouldn't be blowing smoke right there. That's off, right?
This is crafted as elegantly as it is functional. Breath, moment of surrender.
Using the tool.
Wearable as it feels. Where.
So, pretty cool. Again, there's a lot of work that needs to be changed on that, but you could see how I went fully from starting my prompt process, prompt building, saving my concept generator prompt, saving my script writing prompt, and then eventually you save prompts for actually guiding VO3 to create. But all that really cuts down the time. We went from concept generation to that product within a week. So pretty cool. So that's just on the creative side. Again, I'm using this prompt builder for everything. And I'm using different prompt builders too. So like I'm experimenting with building prompts, but the ultimate goal and what I hope you get from this video is that don't rewrite prompts every time. When you have a good prompt, make it really good, right? Something that you're going to do repeatedly, even if it's searching the web. It doesn't really matter what you're doing. Get the prompt for it, make it really good, and then save it. And then every time you talk to that chat, then it's going to save, and it's going to save the exact prompt that you made, so you're going to get a good output. So none of this like prompt, like rewrite the prompt every time and custom prompt. That is like, those days are over for you after this video. All right. And I've gotten a ton of value out of it. It's really, really the way to go. So yeah, let me know, comment, like, let me know if you got any help from this video. Let me know if you want to do anything similar with a lot of the workflows that I'm making. I can make more videos like this if you want. Yeah, my goal is just to help people. I see a lot of people struggling out there, and everything's changing really fast, and there's no right or wrong answer. So it's just about sharing info, and getting to the best answer and figuring out what types of stuff works. So I'm experimenting a lot. Happy to hear what other people are doing too. I know there's a lot better ways to build prompts as well. So excited to hear those. All right, until I see you next time. Cheers.